got to let it go. I told you once, baby. I told you once, but I know you got to let it go. You got to let it go. You got to let it go.
Welcome. I want to welcome you yet another episode of the Unpopular Podcast. It's your boy Jalen, and last week was slow. I mean, there really wasn't much that happened last week, except, the biggest thing, and we'll start with this. First of all, I hope everyone's staying safe. I know that a lot of people ain't staying in the house. I mean, I'm not ignorant. I can see people outside, so I hope you guys are staying safe. I would still recommend y'all stay in the house because they don't have it under control. But hey, y'all do y'all thing. Again, please stay safe, mask up, stay clean. You know, your loved ones care about you. You know what I'm saying? So stay in the house, man. But let's start with the match, or what they've affectionately called what we saw on Sunday, the match. For people that didn't see, they pretty much had a charity golf tournament type thing, but it was like a team on. It was 2-on-2 pretty much. You had Tom Brady and Phil Mickelson going up against Peyton Manning and Tiger Woods. And while we've seen celebrity golf tournaments, we've seen, we've seen high caliber golf people go against each other. Like we saw Tiger Woods versus Phil Mickelson. We've seen this before. But there was a couple things to take away that could actually improve not only golf and not only sports, especially in this time with the whole situation with the world, but there was a lot of things that the match did right. First of all, miking up the players or the athletes or the participants, whatever you want to call them. Golf, like baseball, is a traditionalist sport. It doesn't like a lot of change. It doesn't like a lot of high flashy stuff. It doesn't like a lot of that. It likes what it's been doing for years and years and years. And because of that, golf, like baseball, has seen its decline in popularity. People really only watch golf if Tiger Woods is on, and that's about it. Now, yes, there's still gambling, there's still betting, there's still people and money to be made, but people don't really watch golf. Like, people aren't, now I'm not going to say everyone, of course, but large majority of sports fans don't watch golf because they're a fan. They watch golf because of the people. They watch golf. If Tiger Woods was on a Sunday at 3 p.m., majority of the people will watch. We saw that when Tiger Woods was in the finals during the Masters, or in the final round. It had the highest rating since Tiger Woods was in the final round of the Masters the previous years before. So one thing that the match did right was it mic'd up its participants. Because of that, you heard the banter and the trash talk between a Tom Brady and a Peyton Manning, between a Tiger Woods and a Phil Mickelson. We saw the genuineness of the game and the genuineness of the participants. Now, no, I don't expect golf to do this, but I think when you take so there's things that work. Now, I know that a lot of people are nervous and scared to change. I get that. I understand. Hell, when you've been doing something for as long as you've been doing it, why would you change? Especially if it's worked for you. But we're in an age of innovation. We're in an age of renewal. We're in an age of getting better, right? So I would think if you're golf and you saw how, now I guess, of course I understand that a lot of the rating was due to the fact that a lot of people are still home with what's going on, the corona and everything. A lot of people are at home, ain't got much to watch, ain't got much to do, so they'll watch it. But you saw how successful it was. That thing was like 5 hours. I now know I didn't watch all 5 hours. I think I watched maybe an hour and a half. But the only reason why I didn't watch it is because I was doing something, not because I wasn't invested. So when I see that or see something like that, it's like I didn't care about the game. I didn't care about who was winning. I didn't care about who was getting holes in ones and eagles and birdies. And I didn't care about none of that. What I cared about was a trash talk between Tom Brady and Peyton Manning and Phil Mickelson and Tiger Woods. I enjoyed seeing or hearing the commentary that they did, with the custom carts and having the camera on the cart so you can see them driving from hole to hole. I felt like I was part of the event. And that's what I think baseball and golf kind of don't really have right now. You don't feel, when you look at basketball, you see the players you see the players' faces. You feel like, you're in the event. You hear the crowd, you see the crowd. The crowd is close to the players. You feel like you're in it, or you feel the intensity even watching on the screen. Football, same thing. Well, now you don't really see the players' faces, but football is probably one of, if not the most popular sport in the world. So I think that I felt connected when I saw, Peyton Manning talking about the rivalry with him in Tennessee and Georgia, or Peyton Manning making fun or cracking a joke at Tom Brady and Gronkowski. Like, that's what I think that not just golf and baseball, but the sports can do. The NBA kind of does that a little bit with the sideline reports, or with they'll mic up a player, and the XFL did this really well. Now, I don't know if teams are really going to do this in the NFL, but they would mic up their players. You would hear commentary. You would see a lot more sideline reports. I think that's good, and of course, it doesn't really matter. At the end of the day, Tiger Woods and Peyton Manning beat Phil Mickelson and Tom Brady, and the winner or the proceeds went to COVID-19 relief or something like that. But I just for 5 hours, golf wasn't interesting. Again, I didn't watch it for 5 hours, but I know a lot of people did, and they were interested. They saw that this product that a lot of people don't watch golf if Tiger Woods is in it, and that's just real. If it's kind of like now the NBA has multiple stars, but you can feel the viewership of the playoffs decrease when or the interest decrease when LeBron James isn't playing, or when Steph Curry's injured, or when Kevin Durant's injured. You feel that. You feel their absence. You can feel when Tiger Woods isn't playing well. You can feel when Tiger Woods isn't playing, period. And I think that having cameras or having more access to the players that golf does have, and maybe baseball does have, I think will do wonders for its not only its audience, but will do wonders for the enjoyment of the game. Another thing I think they did well was, and I think, and again, I'm pretty sure they're not going to do this, but I think it went really well. The players were able to talk to the commentators. I know Charles Barkley was one of the commentators, and I don't remember who the other two were, but Tom Brady was able to talk to Charles Barkley. They were able to bet right there on the spot. That was interesting to me. Again, I know that basketball, they do the sideline reports. Maybe David Aldridge will talk to somebody, but why do I keep throwing baseball? Golf doesn't do that at all. Golf, you hear he walks to the green. Oh, what a beautiful shot. That was such a good shot. I think that Tiger Woods is at the prime of his game. Oh, he hits the ball for birdie. He hits the ball. Oh, Tiger Woods comes up to the ball. Oh, what a beautiful shot. The green is looking mighty lovely. Like, that's what they do. You got the whispering. Like, nobody, at the end of the day, I get it, but nobody wants to hear that no more, man. It gets boring after a while, especially if I have no connection with the 150 golfers that's golfing right now. So I think that being able, listening to the players, talk to the commentators, or talk to the play-by-play analysts, whatever you want to call them in golf, I think is really cool. I think that's something that should or could be explored because again, I know it's a charity thing. I know, but it was interesting. So, you know, I don't know if any. I think that might have just been a one-off thing. Maybe because you know how TV and entertainment is trying to wrap its. Now it's not just entertainment. How news and TV and sports are trying to wrap their lifestyle around this whole coronavirus thing. I understand that. I understand that you have to figure out. Okay, a lot of people at home, a lot of regular cameramen, a lot of regular studio people. Hell, we can't even use studios right now. Or you can't have a full studio crew. So people are trying to figure it out. So I understand that it might not happen again once the world gets rolling again. But I think those are interesting. It was very interesting watching the match. I loved how Tom Brady, you know, he's 40 whatever, but he still has the jokes. Peyton Manning's, I don't know how old he is, but he still has the jokes. They were going back and forth. You know, Tiger Woods and Phil, they were going back and forth. It was good, man. It was really fun to watch, especially, and this is coming from a person that's not an avid golf watcher. Like, again, I do not watch golf if Tiger Woods isn't playing. And I'm gonna just be real with you. Yeah, I know I have a sports podcast, or if there's something that's major happening in golf, like something that's groundbreaking, I'll tune to it or turn to it. But I'm not starting off with golf unless Tiger Woods is in it. And I'm just being real. I'm just being real. So let's moving forward. The NBA, which we've heard pretty much all week, the NBA is in talks right now. We're trying to restart the season. What they're saying is they're going to try and have all the teams come to Disney, I believe in Florida, and play on the Disney campus. A couple things about this. One, of course, as an NBA fan, as a basketball fan, as a sports fan, I would love to see the NBA start back up. You see the UFC starting back up. You see boxing trying to start back up. You see foreign soccer starting up. Like, I would love to see the NBA start. What I would say, however, is I hope that, and of course, I wouldn't expect them to put their stars and their players in jeopardy, but I would hope that they'll have the necessary procedures in place to start the season. Now, I believe it was yesterday, Brian Windhorst came out pretty much and said the NBA isn't expecting all 30 teams to start the season, or all 32 teams to continue the season. If that's the case, I don't think you should even play, period. Because if all the teams can't start or can't play, what is really going on? You know, so if that's the case, I don't think they should all play. Another thing that I'm hearing is they're thinking about pushing this back to maybe August, September, October. That to me is not what you want. You do not want. Again, I'm a huge NBA is my favorite league. I love basketball. Basketball is my favorite sport. I love NBA. I love college basketball. What you do not want to do if you're the NBA is rival your viewership with the NFL. There is a reason the NBA and NFL start on two different times of the year. You do not, I repeat, you do not want to go toe-to-toe viewership-wise with the NFL. You will lose. I am an avid NBA fan, avid college basketball fan, avid basketball fan, period. I would love to see basketball come back. I would love to see Sunday morning watch a Ravens and Chiefs game while watching a Redskins game on another channel, and then that night seeing the Lakers and Clippers in the Western Conference Finals. I would love to see that, but I, my friend, am not the average viewer. I I am a fanatic when it comes to sports. I'm not the average fan. If you have to choose, and knowing the average fan of sports, as we've seen time and time again, if you have to choose between an NBA playoff game or a Sunday night football game, they're going to choose a Sunday night football game 8, 9 times out of 10. It don't matter if it's the Clippers and Lakers. It don't matter if it's R.I.P. Kobe, if it's Kobe Bryant going against the Celtics. If it's either NBA on a Sunday night or NFL, they will choose the NFL. So that is the last thing I think the NBA wants. I know the NBA wants to start back up. And I believe if you can get all the teams to come, train for maybe a month, or no, not a month, train for a couple weeks, and then start maybe late June, early July, boom, do it, go. But if you're talking about pushing it to August and September, I don't think that's smart. I do not think that's smart at all. Again, I understand you want to start, but it's like you don't at the end of the day, it's about profit, right? It's about, yeah, you want to start the season back up. You want to have crown a champion. You don't want this to be a lost season. You don't want the CBA to pretty much crumble if there's no season. However, one thing that you don't want, and it's more the reason why you don't. Let me tell you this. The reason why you don't want it is because, yes, NBA coming back, you'll have an all-time high of fans watching at first, because we as fans have been watching nothing but rewatched games. The Last Dance, which is over with. Now we're watching Lance Armstrong over here telling the world to F you on ESPN. We're watching all this because there's nothing else to watch as far as live content. So people are going to tune. That's why so many people tuned into the match. Yes, a lot of people want to see Tom Brady go up against Peyton Manning as far as like in some type of competition. Of course, when you have Phil Mickelson and Tiger Woods doing something, and Tom Brady and Peyton Manning doing something, there's a lot of people's going to watch. But there was a record amount of people watching because there's nothing else to watch. So, of course, when the NBA starts again, there's going to be a record number of people watching, tuning in at first. Because, again, there's nothing to watch. But once you start rivaling that with the NFL, the NBA is going to lose 9, 10 times out of 10. And the last thing you want to do, you're already losing money as it is right now because you're not playing. You're still playing some players. Now, the last thing you want to do is lose your viewership, and then the companies that you're paying, like the ABCs, the ESPNs, the NBA TVs, the NBA league passes, they're gonna start getting upset because their viewership is going down, because there's no way the Clippers, Lakers, I don't care if it has LeBron James, Kawhi Leonard, Anthony Davis, Paul George, there's no way that's going to beat a Sunday night game when it's Drew Brees against Lamar Jackson. Or if it's, I don't know, if it's Tom Brady and the Bucks going up against Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs. There's no way that the Lakers and Clippers are going to beat Tom Brady and Patrick are going against Patrick Mahomes. That's just not going to happen. So if you're going to start the season, I've been saying all this to say, the NBA, if you're going to start the season, do it late June, early July, or at worst, mid-July. If you can't do it by mid-July, to me, scrap the season. Because, again, you don't want to lose. You do not want to go blow for blow with the NFL. Because the NFL, as we've seen and heard last week, are planning. They're planning to start the season at a regular time. Yeah, they're going to have limited OTAs. Yeah, they're going to have limited training camp. But they're planning on starting the season when they started. Nothing changing as far as like dates and stuff. So you do not, I'm trying to tell you, man, you do not want to go up against the NFL. And again, this is coming from an avid NBA fan. You do not want to do that because you're going to lose. Another thing I've heard and it's been thrown around for years and years and years now. But I think that this, I'm not the only one that thinks this, but a lot of people think that this is the perfect time for the NBA to at least test the 1 through 16 seed. So instead of having Eastern Conference, Western Conference type thing, they'll have more of a bracket type, more of a like a traditional bracket type system and go from the 1 seed to the 16 seed. I've been saying, and you've heard Jalen Rose say it. You've heard Stephen A. Smith say it. You've heard so many people say it in the media. This is something that the NBA has been thinking about trying to do. This is something that the fans have been wanting to see, and I think this is the perfect time. The one thing that you don't want to do, and the one thing that you cannot expect if you're the NBA, is you can't expect to just start where you left off. Like, you can't expect to just pick it up and keep walking with it like it's a dollar bill you drop. Like, you're gonna have to. You're not gonna have no fans more than likely. More than likely, you're gonna be in a neutral site, like a neutral facility. What I'm hearing right now is not all the teams are gonna be able to start as when everyone else starts. Which you don't want to just. You cannot think that you're just gonna be like, oh well, we'll just start game 55 where we stopped off and like nothing. Like, no. I think if you want to draw in more fans, now of course, like I said, you're gonna get a lot of fans to start. But if you want to continue to draw more fans in, this is the time to start something new. Hell, the WNBA, they be changing stuff off. They be changing stuff middle of the season. Like, they start their All-Star game is pretty much a glorified, let's try this, let's try that, let's try it. Their playoff things change all the time. The playoffs can have 2 Eastern Conference teams play against each other. Their playoffs is more of a bracket type situation, or traditional bracket type. So I think that if you're going to do this, this is the perfect time. There should be no lacking on this, because it's like, I would love to see the Bucks going up against the Pistons first round, and then second round going up against the Portland Trailblazers, third round going up against the 76ers, and then finals going up against the Lakers and the Clippers. I would love to see the Lakers start off with Toronto, and then after that you go to the Celtics. Then West, if they make it that far, they'll play the Houston Rockets or the Clippers or something. Like, I would love to see that. Fans would love to see that. Again, the fans have been asking for a Western. I mean, not. The fans have been asking for a 1 to 16 seed for a minute, ever since we see the talent disparity that the East and West hold. How we see the West. I mean, the East right now has been more of a cakewalk ever since LeBron left, and that's. And how the West is just a juggernaut, especially when everyone's healthy. Like, think about it. Say we come back, everyone's healthy, right? You have Golden State, who just went to 5 straight finals. You have the Lakers that have LeBron James and Anthony Davis. You have the Clippers that have Kawhi. They have a pretty much squad. You got Kawhi Leonard, Paul George. You got the Rockets, who have James Harden, and you have Russell Westbrook. You have Portland Trailblazers, C.J. McCollum and Damian Lillard. You have Dallas, Luka Doncic and Kristaps Porzingis. You have, teams that aren't even that good still have at least a star on the team. The Timberwolves have Karl Anthony Towns. You have the Sacramento Kings have De'Aaron Fox. The Suns have what's his name? Devin Booker. Memphis has Ja Morant and JJJ or Triple J. Like, those are some teams that might not even make it. In the East, you have the Bucks. Yeah, I think they have the best record right now when everything stopped. But the Bucks with Giannis and Chris Middleton, Toronto's been good with Pascal Siakam and Kyle Lowry. You have the Boston Celtics been good. Jason Tatum, Kemba Walker, Jaylen Brown. Outside of that, the East, yeah, you have a Wizards and Bradley Beal, but they're not even sniffing the playoffs. The Magic don't really have. I mean, they got Aaron Gordon, but Aaron Gordon isn't really drawing people to seats. The Detroit Pistons have Derrick Rose and Blake Griffin, and they're not even sniffing the playoffs either. Like, the talent disparity in the East and West is crazy, especially right now. And this will be the perfect time to be like, yo, okay, you guys have been in quarantine for God knows how long. Once it starts, here's something that we're going to try new. And nobody's going to be like, wait a second. Well, except maybe the maybe some of the Eastern Conference teams that look up in the first round, you got to play like the Lakers, or you got to play like the Clippers or the Rockets, or you look up Memphis, who's trying so hard to get into the playoffs. You look up and your first round has to be the Milwaukee Bucks. Like, I would feel some type of way if I'd be like, damn, like, all right, well, we made it, so let's give it our all. But we're going up against maybe 2-time MVP at the end of this Giannis. Let's go, you know. So I would understand if you have a quarrel with that, and of course you're gonna have to get you actually don't have to get the travel, because if this season continues to go, you're gonna be in one building. Like, you're gonna play at Disney's ESPN zone or wherever it is. So you don't have to worry about travel. So this is the perfect time to do it. So, because I remember that was one huge thing that they were worried about. Is like, especially if you say the Lakers have to go and play, or say the Houston or Spurs or something. Say the Spurs, if they do the whole traditional seeding thing, they get the third seed. You got to go up against the 15th seed, and the 15th seed could be Toronto. So that would be unfair if, like, Golden State's first round, but if Golden State's first round would have to play like Sacramento or something. It's like a 3, 4, 5 hour drive. So it's like, I understand that, but this is the perfect time to do it. Like I said, you guys are in the same building. Like, you're playing in the same building, the neutral site. So, hey, if you don't do it now, then it might not ever get done, because this is the perfect time. So that's one change they can implement, and I think it not only will it draw fans, man, but it's something fresh. I think that with the NBA and all sports, when they come back, yeah, people are going to be excited because, again, we've been watching nothing but reruns. I mean, I remember I turned on the TV the other day and was watching Brett Favre, like a legit Brett Favre game. And it's like, yeah, that's cool, but people are ready for something new. However, let me not say this. People are ready for something new. And I'm not saying new as, I'm ready to see live sports. I'm ready to see, like, sports again, but I don't think fans, I think you're gonna lose fans, especially after the initial surge of, you're gonna get every sports league is gonna get hell, even hockey is gonna get the initial surge because we haven't been watching nothing. But how do you maintain or sustain at least a good portion of that surge? The one thing that you couldn't do, like I said, people want to see something new. That's why you do the 1-16 seed, man. That's why if you're hockey, you mic up some of your players, or you mic up the coach and allow the commentators to talk to the coach, or allow the commentators to talk to the best player when he's in the box. When you're baseball, you allow, you amplify some of the noise. So you amplify some of the trash talk you hear from teams. You amplify the sound of the home runs, or the sound of the ball strikes or something. Like, you amplify that noise. You amplify some of the Look, I played college. I know I say this a lot, but I play basketball all the time. Like, when this whole quarantine thing is over, I'm always at the gym. No, I'm not look like it. Trust me. I know. But I'm at the gym all the time playing basketball. And that's just pickup. And I can't tell you how much trash talk is talked just amongst friends, amongst people I hoop with all the time. I can only imagine some of the trash talk that the NBA has on a nightly basis, because these are the best of the best players. Sometimes we would love to see that. Of course, we always know about the whole TV delay thing, so if there's cursing, just edit out. Hell, maybe keep it in if it's not that bad. I heard, again, The Last Dance had nothing. If you watch on ESPN1, The Last Dance had nothing but cursing in it, and Lance Armstrong started his jump with 3 major FUs. So maybe that's where the the new, maybe that's what TV's going. But yeah, let us hear some of the trash talk. Let us hear the trash talk between LeBron James and a Paul George, or LeBron James and a Steph Curry, or Steph Curry and a Damian Lillard, or Damian Lillard and Russell Westbrook. We all want to hear that, or because of that whole rivalry thing. Like, do something new. 116 seed, mic some of the guests so we can hear more of the, of course you always hear the commentators, and you always hear a dunk or something. You always hear stuff like that. Or sometimes you're gonna accidental get this out of here. You'll get an accidental slip. You will hear that. But let's hear some trash talk. I want to hear Kevin Durant once he comes back. Kevin Durant go up against a Draymond Green. I want to hear that. Like, I want to hear the trash talk that's going to be said. And I think that'll increase the game. People will tune in and say, "Oh, what is Damian Lillard going to say to Russell Westbrook?" Or what is Kyrie Irving going to say when he goes up against LeBron James or Kemba Walker? What is Kevin Durant going to say when he goes up against Golden State and Draymond Green? Like, that's what people want to hear. And I think that'll draw a lot of fans in, man. Especially after the wave and the surge. It's like, how do you keep some fans instead of just having the loyal ones? Well, boom, make it more accessible for us. Make it more enjoyable, seeing as though you're seeing raw emotions. And trash talk is nothing but rawness, man. And bring that to the sport, bring that to the fans, and I promise you will enjoy, or you'll get more fans. You know what I mean? So I think that's what you should do. I think that's what you should do. Moving forward, last week what I did was I gave my top 10 trio in the NBA history. I gave my top 10. I talked about, no spoilers. Well, it happened last week, but I talked about big threes like Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, and Draymond Green. Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Kevin Durant. Talked about Michael Jordan, Dennis Rodman, and Scottie Pippen. LeBron James, D Wade, and Chris Bosh. They landed on the list. So if you haven't, go check it out. I gave my top 10 big threes of all time in the NBA. What I want to do this week, no, I'm not going to go my top 10 of all time in the NFL as far like offensive trio when we talk about three major footnotes in the offense. I'm not going to do that because there's a lot of teams, we're not doing that. What I will do, however, is I want to give my top 10 offensive trio in the NFL currently, or going into next season, or going into this season. You know what I mean? I some teams don't really have like a good running back. Some teams really don't use running backs like that. Some teams, their best offensive weapon might be a tight end, might be a quarterback and 2 wide receivers, might be just 3 wide receiver set. So what I wanted to do was, no matter what it is, they had to have a decent quarterback and at least a wide receiver. And we chalked it up to not a wide receiver, or at least an offensive weapon that's outside of quarterback. So this is my top 10 trio in the NFL, or going into the NFL season. Or top 10 trios going into the NFL season. Let me start with number 10. I have San Francisco 49ers, Jimmy Garoppolo, Raheem Mostert, and George Kittle. I know you're starting like, wait. Raheem Mostert and George Kittle. For people, first of all, for people that don't know, I could have either chose Raheem Mostert or Tevin Coleman but they just acquired it, and he, they acquired him last year, and he wasn't as effective, especially in the playoffs, as Raheem Morset was, especially in the uh, NFC divisional or NFC championship. Raheem Morset was incredible, and we all know George Kittle is arguably the best tight end in the league, especially in a Kyle Shanahan system, and especially playing alongside Jimmy G, who Jimmy G is not the greatest quarterback. We know that. However, what he does is this is what I'll say about Jimmy G. Jimmy G is a really good quarterback, but if you're lining up a quarterback, if you're lining up quarterbacks, Jimmy G to me is top 10, but he's closer to 10 than he is to 1. Because he makes some really good plays, makes some really good decisions, but sometimes he be making some wow decisions like, bro, who are you throwing to? And you know that I'm not the only one that thinks that. Kyle Shanahan has to think that, because we look last year, he handed the ball off more than he threw the ball, and this team doesn't have a lot of running back weapons. So that's why he's not bad, but he's not like incredible. And that's why I have him at 10. That is San Francisco, Jimmy G, Raheem Morset, and George Kittle. I also have number 10 because we just saw them in the Super Bowl. Now, I know things change. You lose players, you gain players in the offseason. But we just saw them in the Super Bowl, and while they did lose, they were incredible all year. You had games where George Kittle and Jimmy G saved them from. I remember when they played the Saints, and it was like 52 to like 49 or something. It was big plays from Jimmy G and George Kittle that won them the game. I remember, like I said, in the NFC Championship, Robert Morset was destroying the Green Bay defense. Like it, I don't know how great they'll be. I know that George Kittle, I believe he'll be really good, because not only does he catch the ball, but he's an incredible blocker. He's probably the best blocking tight end we've seen since, I guess, Rob Gronkowski. But I'm excited to see what's going to happen. Raheem Morset, while he's not that much of a catching back, he's a short, quick back. And I think that alongside a Kyle Shanahan offense, and you give them another year to develop. Again, they were in the Super Bowl last year. So do I think they'll be in the Super Bowl this year? Maybe not. I don't know. But I doubted them and counted them out last year, and they definitely surprised me. So who knows? But I say that to say Jimmy G, Raheem Morset, and George Kittle are number 10 on my list. Number 9, I go with Tom Brady, Mike Evans, and Ronald Jones. First of all, I can't get last year out of my head when I'm talking about Tom Brady. Tom Brady, I believe, is 43. Tom Brady looks like he's 43. At the end of the year, going into the playoffs, Tom Brady looked old. Tom Brady wasn't completing deep balls anymore like that. Tom Brady was late on reads. Tom Brady was sacked a lot more than usual. Tom Brady didn't look good. Now, a lot of people want to attest that to the weapons that he had around him. Okay. If that is the case, then Tom Brady is still incredible. And the only reason why I have him at 9 is because I can't get what I saw out of my head from last year with Tom Brady. Now, if it is the weapons, and if it was the weapons, and Tom Brady is still, I'm not saying he's going to be the GOAT Tom Brady, but if he's still 75% of that, then they're going to catapult up, because it's Tom Brady. But and this is the first time you give him weapons. He has Gronkowski back. He has Mike Evans. He has Ronald Jones. He has O.J. Howard. He has so many pieces now that in fact, this is the most pieces he's probably had since. In fact, this is probably the most pieces he's ever had. Now, yeah, he went He almost went undefeated, but that was a lot of Randy Moss in him. So, and that defense was incredible that year too. So, the reason why I have them at number 9 is because we haven't seen it yet. But on paper, it'll be a lot higher. But that's why I'm being a little hesitant, because I remember what I saw from Tom Brady last year, and last year was not beautiful at all. Mike Evans is one of the best wide receivers in the game. Ronald Jones is one of the best young running backs in the game. And if Tom Brady is 70% of the GOAT Tom Brady that he's been, this would be incredible. They have a chance to at least make it to the NFC Championship. Who knows? But I just have to see, because last year, especially how it ended, like it wasn't good, my friend. So that's why I have Tom Brady, Mike Evans, and Ronald Jones at number 9. Number 8, I have Baker Mayfield, Nick Chubb, and Odell Beckham Jr. Now, if you just take Baker Mayfield out and just have Nick Chubb and Odell Beckham Jr. and maybe a Jarvis Landry, they go up. Now, no, I'm not saying Baker Mayfield is a bust. No, I'm not saying Baker Mayfield is trash. What I'm saying is, Baker Mayfield has not played anywhere close to a number 1 overall draft pick, like quality, as far as he hasn't played up to that status. Now, yes, he had front office turmoil. He had coaching turmoil. He has a terrible O-line. It was a lot of stuff going on around Baker Mayfield. And Baker Mayfield doesn't seem like the type of quarterback, at least right now, that you can supersede all the stuff that's going on around you. Not to mention, of course, we know about the whole commercials. We know a lot. And I don't want to throw the bust on. I don't want to throw bust yet. I mean, it's still very young in his career, or very early in his career. But what I do want to say is, he has not lived up to the number 1 overall draft pick status that he currently holds. And if he did, along with a Nick Chubb, who's been incredible, and along with OBJ, who I think, when healthy, is one of the top 3 or 4 wide receivers in the game, I think that the reason why they're 8 is because Baker Mayfield. No, I'm not calling him a bust. What I'm just saying is that we need to see more of Baker Mayfield. We need to see some better decision making from Baker Mayfield. We need to see some better throws. We need to see the tandem of Baker Mayfield and Odell Beckham Jr. work, because last year it didn't work. Last year, Odell Beckham Jr. not only had the lowest amount of receptions he's had in his career, but the lowest number of touchdowns, the lowest number of yards like he's had in his career. And I think that's because they're just not on the same page. I don't know if Baker Mayfield doesn't trust him when he's double coveraged, or when he's double covered. I don't know if Baker Mayfield is just not overlooking him. Like, yeah, I know you have Jarvis Landry over there and you have Kareem Hunt on your backfield, but come on, man. It's Odell Beckham Jr. So I think that they need, they had a year to develop the relationship. They didn't really have an off season, but we'll see. This will be year 2, and if they can get on the same page, kind of like Tom Brady, Mike Evans, and Ronald Jones, if they can get on the same page, that can go up. But from right now, from what I saw last year, they shouldn't be on this list at all. But I'm also looking at potential. I'm looking at name. I'm looking at how good Nick Chubb was. I'm looking at how good OBJ has been in his career, even with not the best. Like, don't get me wrong, Eli was great back in the day, but when Odell Beckham was there, Eli was on the tail end of his career. So again, number 8, I have Baker Mayfield, Nick Chubb, and OBJ, and we just need to see. We need to see that core develop more, or if not, they're either going to go down or go up. But that's number 8. Number 9, I have Matt Ryan, Todd Gurley, and Julio Jones. The only reason why I say number 9? Number 7. I'm sorry. Number 7 is Matt Ryan, Todd Gurley, and Julio Jones. The reason why I have them number 7 is because Todd Gurley last year had the lowest production season he's had in his career, and this just so happened to be after they paid him the big money. Like, we see, he had the arthritis in his knees. He didn't have a good season. Now, towards the end of the season was okay, but the rest of the season was horrible. Well, I'm not gonna say horrible, but it wasn't Todd Gurley. It wasn't top running back in the league money wise. It wasn't that. And if he can get back to the Todd Gurley that we know he's been, now I don't know how realistic that is with all the injury or with the arthritis and the injuries that he's sustained over his career. But if he is able to get to that with Matt Ryan, who hasn't really seen a decline as much as, well, let me not say that. Well, I will say this. Matt Ryan has declined since making it to the Super Bowl and being MVP. He has declined. But I don't know if that's due to the fact of him just making poor decisions or the offensive scheme around him. I don't know. I'm not blaming anybody. What I'm saying is Matt Ryan still has some incredible games. Hell, I think maybe a year or two ago, they almost made it to the Super Bowl. And we all know about Julio. Julio, to me, is probably the best, if not one of the best wide receivers in the game. That's Julio Jones. I mean, he's a freak in nature. And him alongside Matt Ryan and Todd Gurley could be number one if it works out. But the reason why I have them number 7, because, again, it's kind of like back to the Tom Brady thing. We need to see it. If it goes incredible, I will come on here and say, yo, that is the best trio in the league right now, by far. But we need to see it. And it's not just, it has to be with scheme. It has to be the stuff around them. But that right now, number 7 is Matt Ryan, Todd Gurley, and Julio Jones. Number 6, I have Dak Prescott, Amari Cooper, and Zeke. Let's be real here. Amari Cooper kind of shrinks in big games. He has big games, but those big games usually come against lesser opponents, like the Redskins, or like he had a really good game against the Eagles when they were all beat up. But when they need a huge game from him, like when they played against the Buffalo Bills or when they played against the Green Bay Packers, he might make a big play here or there, but he doesn't really show up. I mean, in those games, Michael Gallup is playing better than him. And don't get me wrong, Michael Gallup is no scrub, but he's not an Amari Cooper. And that kind of goes hand in hand with how Dak plays. Dak plays and runs. Dak is a good quarterback. He is a very serviceable quarterback. However, most of his, and a lot of people say, look at the stats. Hell, Skip Bayless is huge on the look at the stats type person. But when you look at the stats, he dominates lesser opponents. But when it comes to like the better teams, like a Green Bay, like a fully healthy Eagles, like a Saints, like Seahawks, he falls short. He doesn't play anywhere close to the Dak Prescott that's demanding as much money as he's trying to demand right now. And really and Zeke hasn't really played to his best since he got the big payday either. So at their best, they are one of the top 10 trios in the league, but we haven't seen them at their best yet, I don't believe. Or let me say this. When they are at their best, it's playing against lesser opponents. It's playing against the Redskins. It's playing against the Giants. But when when they play, we need to see this trio fire on all cylinders against quality opponents or against a good defense, against the 49ers, against a Saints, against a Bucks. Like if we can see that, then it's warranted. But right now, I can't put them anywhere higher than 6 because we've seen them against those teams, and Dak Prescott hadn't played his best. Amari Cooper disappears. Hell, Amari Cooper took himself out of game last year. He was like, "Nah, I can't do this, bro." Like he took himself out the game, from what I heard. And Zeke, who hasn't been really Zeke since he was trying to demand a contract renegotiation. So, that's why Dak Prescott, Amari Cooper, and Ezekiel Elliott is number 6. Number 5, I have Kirk Cousins, Adam Thielen, and Delvin Cook. Kirk Cousins, Here's the difference. Kirk Cousins is a really, really, really good quarterback when he's not playing in prime time. When he's playing in prime time, he loses a lot. Like I know last year he had probably the greatest throw he ever threw in his career to Adam Thielen to beat the Saints. But outside of that, he didn't really do much when in terms of primetime games. Like if the game is not primetime, I'll roll with Kirk Cousins. But if it's a primetime game, when he was with Washington, he wasn't doing much, and now when he's with the Minnesota Vikings, he isn't doing much either. But that's just primetime. Regular games, shoot, man, Kirk Cousins is incredible. And you also have Dalvin Cook, who's one of the best running backs in the league. And you have Adam Thielen, who's one of the best wide receivers in the league. That trio single-handedly, along with some incredible catches with Kyle Rudolph and Stephon Diggs at the time, that single-handedly knocked out the Saints last year. And, of course, some bad play from Drew Brees in the beginning, but we're not going to talk about that yet. But like I said, when they're firing all cylinders, and if it's not a primetime game, you give me Kirk Cousins, Adam Thielen, and Dalvin Cook, and I'm cool. I'm good. It's just if it's a Sunday night football game or a Monday night football game or like a divisional round or something. Like it's a little sketchy, and that's why I can't really put them higher than 6 because they're incredible when, again, it's a regular 1:00 game on Sunday. They're incredible, unless it's like against against the Green Bay or something. But once the lights dim, once the sun goes down, the lights get bright, and Sunday night football or Monday night football or Thursday night football, it's just like, ugh, like So, if they can right those wrongs, or Kirk Cousins can right that wrong, which he hasn't really shown a propensity to do at all. I mean, again, he did it once last year, but if that continues, then like I said, boom, number 6. But if not, hey, who knows? I can't really put them higher than that because, again, they're incredible. When it doesn't really, when no one's really watching except Minnesota fans. So that's number 6. Number 5. No, hold on. Hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No. 8, 7, 6, 5. Oh, that was number 5. I'm sorry. I apologize. Number 5, people. I'm not, hey. It's hey. I'm sorry. It's early. It's really early. But that was number 5. Number 4, number 5 was Kirk Cousins. Let me go back. Number 10 was Jimmy G, Robert Morissette, and George Kittle. Number 9 is Tom Brady, Mike Evans, and Ronald Jones. Number 8 is Baker Mayfield, Nick Chubb, and OBJ. Number 7 is Matt Ryan, Todd Gurley, and Julio Jones. Number 6 is Dak Prescott, Amari Cooper, Ezekiel Elliott. Number 5 is Kirk Cousins, Adam Thielen, and Dalvin Cook. And we get to number 4, who was Aaron Rodgers, Aaron Jones, and Devontae Adams. This trio was a game away last year from making it to the Super Bowl. We all know how great Aaron Rodgers is. Aaron Rodgers is one of the all-time greatest quarterbacks we've ever seen talent-wise. We know Aaron Jones has been incredible for them since he started getting majority of the touches. And we all know when healthy, Devontae Adams is one of the top 10 wide receivers in the league. The problem is there have been times when Devontae Adams kind of disappears. There have been times when Aaron Rodgers has been known to throw the ball away a lot more than gamble. There has been times where Adam, this trio has, like last year. Last year, I said they were a game away from making it to the Super Bowl. However, that game against both those games against the 49ers, when they played, I think the last time the regular season and the NFC Championship, they did not even belong on the field. Like, they got blown out expeditiously. Like, it was bad. And against a good defense, the offensive line struggled. Aaron Rodgers struggled. Aaron Jones didn't do anything. And Devontae Adams was locked up by Richard Sherman. So we've seen at the highest at their peaks, man. They're warranted at number 4, but the reason why they're no higher than number 4 is because there's 3 trios better than them, and because again they got bum rushed and destroyed last time I saw them, and that was in the NFC Championship. Yeah, they're in a game away from the Super Bowl, but in that game in the NFC Championship, they got destroyed. Like, there was no way. Like, it was over quick, and that's why I can't. At their best, they definitely belong in number 4. But it is what it is. So number 3, I have Lamar Jackson, Mark Ingram, and Mark Andrews. This is the second team that doesn't feature a wide receiver. Lamar Jackson and the Ravens in the regular season last year were incredible. They were breaking records left and right. Lamar Jackson was breaking rushing records. Mark Ingram was an incredible new addition to the Ravens after being in the Saints. And Mark Andrews was Lamar Jackson's favorite target. Not favorite tight end, but favorite target when we come to and that's over any wide receiver that he had. Mark Andrews was his favorite target. And that trio broke so many records in the regular season last year. Now, yes, I understand you can talk about the playoffs when the Titans got the best of them. A lot of people, including myself, thought that the last year was definitely the Ravens' year in winning the Super Bowl, but it just didn't pan out that way. But I'm not negating everything we saw in the regular season. I'm not negating how great Lamar Jackson was when a lot of people were, including myself, were thinking, this might take maybe 3 or 4 or 5 years to develop him because, yes, he's a raw, incredible talent, but does his talent really translate to an NFL game where it's a lot faster and a cornerback a cornerback can be as fast as a quarterback, or a cornerback can be faster than a wide receiver. Like, I was a little skeptical. Don't get me wrong. I wasn't saying like he shouldn't be a quarterback, which a lot of people were saying. And before I move forward, for people that continuously say Tyson Hill is a bigger, stronger, quicker, or for people that's saying Taysom Hill is pretty much a bigger, stronger Lamar Jackson, or a poor man's Lamar Jackson, look here. I understand you might want some hot takes so you can garnish fans. I understand you might not like Lamar Jackson's game because it's new. Or, hell, I was going to say we haven't seen it since Michael Vick, but he's breaking Michael Vick records, so we haven't seen it ever. But stop comparing Taysom Hill to MVP Lamar Jackson. Stop it. Taysom Hill is a great player. Don't get me wrong. What he does with the Saints is great. But Taysom Hill is closer to me than he is to Lamar Jackson. And I only played football 1 year. That was in 2003, and I was a damn guard. Stop it. Taysom Hill, let me say this. If Taysom Hill and Lamar Jackson switch places, like if Lamar Jackson played for the Saints and Taysom Hill played for the Ravens, we wouldn't hear nothing about the Ravens. The Ravens would be not lottery pick. We wouldn't hear nothing about the Ravens except for they're gonna need a new quarterback. And honestly, if Lamar Jackson played for the Saints, you probably wouldn't hear much about Drew Brees right now. It'd probably be like, well, Drew, we found a successor. You know what I mean? So stop it with the comparison. But back to our regularly scheduled program. Lamar Jackson, Mark Ingram, and Mark Andrews is number 3 on my list as top trios in the NFL going into next season or this season. Number 2, I have Patrick Mahomes, Tyreek Hill, and Travis Kelce. I have to give it to the Super Bowl winning champs. Yes, I understand that they don't have a traditional offense. They don't really run a running back set like that. They do have running backs. Don't get me wrong. I believe they have like a Coleman is pretty good, I believe. But they don't really feature a running back heavy game. They don't really feature a running back heavy set. However, the reason why I have this at number 2 is because 1, they just won the Super Bowl. 2, Patrick Mahomes is the best player in the league. I don't care what anybody says. Patrick Mahomes is the best quarterback in the league. He's the best player in the league. He's the best offensive weapon in the league. Patrick Mahomes is the best player in the league by a country mile, in my opinion. It's like, let me not say that. It's like if Patrick Mahomes is Godfather 2, no, let me not say this. Boom. Patrick Mahomes is Scarface. Incredible movie. Probably one of the greatest movies ever made, Scarface. Lamar Jackson is Donnie Brasco. Really good movie. Incredible movie, but it's not Scarface. And even that discrepancy is kind of big. But I'm not taking away from Lamar. But I'm just saying Patrick Mahomes is better than anybody in the league. And Travis Kelce is arguably the best tight end in the league. It's between him and George Kittle. A lot of people will choose George Kittle over Travis Kelce because of his blocking ability, but a lot of people choose Travis Kelce over George Kittle because of his catching and after the catch ability. So it's whatever you prefer, but I can't put Mahomes or Travis Kelce any low and Tyreek Hill. Tyreek Hill, who by the way is one of, if not the fastest player in the league, it would behoove me to put them anything lower than 2. Because again, you have the best player in the league in Patrick Mahomes, one of the best, if not the best, tight end in the league in Travis Kelce, and one of, if not the fastest running back in the league, or running, whatever you want to call Tyreek Hill, because he does a lot. He does jet sweeps. He runs running back sometimes. He's a wide receiver. That is number 2. Number 1. A lot of people were waiting for it, and a lot of people, if you don't, look, first of all, if you don't agree, it's okay. It is okay. You can leave in the comments. You can DM me, let me know. Leave it wherever you listen. First of all, if you listen to Apple, please subscribe. Please share. Please leave a comment, a rating. Rate it. Please. I mean, it helps. It really does. It lets me know how y'all feel about it. You know, even if you give me a 1, I would prefer you give me a 1 than nothing. You know what I mean? So, hey, rate it, comment, subscribe. And that's wherever, SoundCloud, Spotify, Stitcher, TuneIn, Google Play, you know, it would definitely help. But my number 1 right now currently is Drew Brees, Michael Thomas, and Alvin Kamara. No, Drew Brees is not the best quarterback in the league. No, Michael Thomas is not the best, to me, not the best wide receiver in the league. No, Alvin Kamara is not the best running back in the league. However, those 3 together are damn near unstoppable. We see now I know it's a lot of slants, but you see Michael Thomas is one of the most surest things when you're talking about someone catching a pass from Drew Brees. I think maybe last year he dropped maybe 2 or 3 balls into the entire year. When you look at Alvin Kamara, when he's healthy, Alvin Kamara not only is one of the best running backs in the league, but Alvin Kamara is one of the best catching running backs in the league. And then you have a player like Drew Brees. And now, yes, I understand Drew Brees is getting up there in age. Drew Brees is a lot older. Hell, Drew Brees, I think, is like 41 or 42 or something like that, or 40. But and yes, I understand he didn't have his best game in the playoffs last year, and I know he missed 5 games, but those games that he played was incredible. He was Drew Brees. It feels like every time I watch Drew Brees, he's breaking a record or close to breaking a record. I don't know if it was last year or the year before, but he broke the touchdown record. Like, I think it was like 540 or 504 or something touchdowns that he threw. So I have to put Drew Brees, Michael Thomas, and Alvin Kamara at number 1. Again, if you don't feel that's hey, it's okay. You're entitled to your opinion. This is the Unpopular Podcast. This is my opinion. You can definitely leave a comment. We'll talk about it. We'll discuss it. I have no problem with it. Before we go, I'll give you my top 10 again. You have Jimmy G, Raheem Morstead, and George Kittle at 10. You have Tom Brady, Mike Evans, and Ronald Jones III at 9. Baker Mayfield, Nick Chubb, and OBJ at 8. Matt Ryan, Todd Gurley, and Julio Jones at 7. Dak Prescott, Amari Cooper, and Zeke at 6. At 5, you have Adam Thielen, Kirk Cousins, and Delvin Cook. At 4, you have Aaron Rodgers, Aaron Jones, and Devontae Adams. At 3, you have Lamar Jackson, Mark Ingram, and Mark Andrews. At number 2, you have Patrick Mahomes, Tyreek Hill, and Travis Kelce. And at number 1, I have Drew Brees, Michael Thomas, and Alvin Kamara. There you guys have it. I appreciate you guys. I love you guys. Please stay safe. Please. Look, they're telling us to stay home, man. I know they keep opening stuff, but and this is what I tell people. If they don't trust it enough to open government buildings, like the White House, or open all government offices and stuff, that should tell you all you need to know about if you should be outside or not. That's all I'm saying. But again, I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. Please subscribe. Please subscribe. Please subscribe. Please share. Please subscribe to the YouTube channel or wherever you listen to this. Share, comment, like. I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. Until next time, please stay safe. Please stay healthy. Please stay clean. Much love.
If that's what it is, if you gotta leave me, baby, I won't shed no tears. If that's what it is, if you gotta go, I hope you're happier with him. If that's what it is, if you gotta leave me, baby, I'll still be right here. If that's what it is, if that's what it is, if that's what it is. Now you know I'm getting on this plane, and the shit you texting got me feeling pain. Yeah, yeah, when you know I can change. Tell me that you ain't done said the same. Yo, now and then you know I make mistakes. Look, you know everybody made mistakes. Yeah, yeah, but you don't feel the same. It shouldn't have to be that way. But hey, if that's what it is, if you gotta leave me, baby, I won't shed no tears. If that's what it is, if you gotta go, I hope you're happier with him. If that's what it is, if you gotta leave me, baby, I'll still be right here. If that's what it is, if that's what it is, if that's what it is. Look, I will always be your friend for sure, though. With or without comments on your photos. Yep, if you abort the mission, leave a nigga Han Solo. I still wear your ring around my neck like I was Frodo. Ay, once again, I'm getting on this plane, and the shit you texting got me feeling strange. Yeah, yeah, cause you don't feel the same. I'm sorry that it feels that way, but hey, if that's what it is, if you gotta leave me, baby, I won't shed no tears. If that's what it is, if you gotta go, I hope you're happier with him. If that's what it is, if you gotta leave me, baby, I'll still be right here. If that's what it is, if that's what it is,